Disaster Patrick here. People ask me all the time about the 5-pocket method, so today I'm going to talk to you about what that method is and how it can apply to you when you are trying to evacuate, particularly in the California wildfires. You can probably hear in the background, you can hear people cutting trees and preparing for additional wildfires because they are going to be moving through the area. And so I'm going to talk to you about the things you need to take if you have to very rapidly leave your home, because that is one of the things that I've been working on with clients for 20 years, talking to them about when you have to evacuate, what do you have to take, and when. So today, I'm going to talk to you all about what I call the 5-pocket method. This is a simple method for you to determine exactly what you need when you have to rapidly leave your home in an evacuation, a shelter-in-place, or a lockdown.
We now live in an age of disasters, and Disaster Patrick is on a mission to prove that
if you prepare for disasters, you'll never experience one.
The great advantage of the 5 pockets method is that it allows you to not be overburdened, but it maximizes your options. So it allows you to go where you need to go without overburdening you with too many things that will prevent you from being able to get to the next location of safety. So for example, you would never expect to be carrying all your canned goods and everything in your car. Of course not. And here's the genius of it. In the backpack or in the satchel or on yourself, you need to think about in advance where you would go. So for example, I have the keys to my parents' house in my disaster backpack in my car, because I know that if I have to go there and they're not home, I have a key to get in, and I also have the alarm code, so I can get into their home without a problem. I also have this for a backup location because I have an old colleague and friend who lives about 150 miles from where I live, and if I had to get there, I could get to her home, and she has a guest house there, and I have a key to her guest house. So if I have to get in, I can get into her guest house. That allows me to carry what I need and to move forward to the next evacuation location. And clients and people I'm working with in the wildfire zone are telling me how much they're trying to carry and what they have forgotten, and so I want you to follow these 5 categories. The first of the 5 pockets is the physical side, and this is so important, but again, I don't want you to overburden yourself. Get something, first of all, you want to have a mask, so you want to have some kind of an N95 mask or something that's going to cover your face. If you live in a wildfire zone, you don't want to be inhaling all that ash and smoke. In addition, when homes burn down, they have a lot of hazardous materials. There's everything that burns in there, and that can be noxious gases that can cause health problems later. So you want to make sure that you have an appropriate mask for where you live. Physical also should include some water. Again, you don't have to have 25 gallons of water. Just carry enough water to get to your car. So I only have a couple little pouches of water in this satchel. In my car, I have enough water to get me to my parents' house or to my colleague's house. And then while I'm there, I'm out of the disaster zone and I'm fine. In my home, also in the shelter-in-place location, there's some places in my home where if I ever had to shelter in place, I make sure that I have just enough on me to get to those locations and just enough there so I can shelter in place for as long as I need to. And that's one of the things that's really, really helpful to know. Also on the physical side is your pharmacy, your medications, anything you need to have with you. I have diabetic clients. I tell them, make sure you keep your insulin with you. If you have to have ice, carry that as well. That's really important. But whatever it is, just make sure you have just enough that it takes care of you wherever you happen to go. That's how you can make the most efficient use of the physical side. The next is psychological, and psychological is so important because I tell people, in a disaster, you're gonna be nervous. In a disaster, things are gonna happen. And what I tell people is take something with you that will make you feel comforted. I don't care if it's a stuffed animal, if your teenager loves Nintendo Switch, anything, a novel, a book, anything you think would comfort you, personal things. I have some people who take guitars with them. I say that's totally fine as long as the guitar can fit on your back or go in your transport van or vehicle, whatever you're using, and doesn't hold you back. I don't want you falling into bad habits or doing things that would be unsafe during a disaster, because that's what people will do when they are panicked. When I talk to people about the personal stuff, which is the 3rd pocket, the personal stuff, I want you to carry things, your keys, your glasses, things that are going to be important to you as you continue to operate. Having maybe a separate set of clothing. For example, as you can see, I'm wearing sunglasses, so you want to put on sunglasses. I have them out here for safety reasons, but you definitely should have whatever you're going to need. I also say small keepsakes, even a photograph, something that will give you comfort during the disaster when you need it. We live in the modern age, so of course we got to have our phone. So that's the 4th pocket. I always tell people, make sure you have your phone. But there's more than that, right? You also want to make sure that you have have a charger for your phone? Do you need to have a portable charger? In this little pouch here, I actually have my portable charger. I get a lot of sunlight, as you can see, and that allows me to recharge the batteries at all times. In many years beforehand, there was a lot of advice of don't worry about your cell phones. They may not work in a disaster. That advice has now changed. Instead of calling people, text. Text. It uses a fraction of the bandwidth, and it makes a huge difference because it doesn't interfere with what first responders need or what emergency management professionals need or other victims who are trying to evacuate, because they're trying to use the same bandwidth that you are. So you want to make sure that no matter what you're doing, make sure you have your phone on you and you have a way to charge it and keep it good no matter where you are, because you're going to need to have a communication lifeline. Last but not least are your papers, and I talk to people all the time about papers, so make sure that at all times you have a driver's license or a passport on you. There are places that will not allow you in without identification. This is especially true if you are out of area or you are traveling. That will ensure that you never have a problem in informing people as to who you are. So that's all great. So I've got everything for my 5 pockets, right? So I've got everything I need physically, I've got everything I need psychologically, I've got my personal stuff, I have my phone, and I have my papers. Now what? What I tell people is that now I want you to start thinking about the 5 pockets for your loved ones and the things you care about around you. Are you a caregiver? You want to do the 5 pockets for whoever you're taking care of, whether it's grandma or whether it's someone who you're professionally taking care of. If it's your pets, do you have to do your 5 pockets for your cat? Yeah, absolutely. I have a cat. Also for your kids, you want to make sure, do they have to have everything they need physically? Absolutely. But you need to talk to them about prioritizing and make sure they know they don't have to carry every toy with them, just the things they need to get to the next location. Also, on the psychological angle, make sure that they're allowed to take things that they care about. That's so important when you're dealing with kids and keeping them calm in a disaster. Then, of course, they should try to have a phone of some kind. And then lastly, make sure you have their identification. People are going to be displaced for weeks, months. And so it's going to be so important to have that ID with you, because it can take a long time for those IDs to be processed if you have to do an application for a new one. I hope this was helpful to you. This is a method I've been using for 20 years with clients, with people who have limited resources, to people who are just middle class, regular people you'd meet on the street, to high net worth clients. Anytime, think about the 5 pocket method. It'll be a great difference to you when you have to evacuate, when you shelter in place or lock down, particularly in the California wildfires, considering how unpredictable they can be. This is Disaster Patrick reminding you, prepare for a disaster and you'll never experience one.